NBA Today.
The Nuggets, they are still there, standing on the edge, on the brink of elimination. They're going to need a win tonight for Minnesota, in Minnesota, for the first time to force the series to 7 games. Now, the Wolves, they've held strong at home, but they remain shorthanded in Game 6. So let's say hello to Anthony Slater, who is covering this series for us. And we know, Slater, that they were able to win. Denver was this previous game without Aaron Gordon, but he is so very important to them. What's his prognosis for tonight's Game 6?
They listed him as questionable again, which I think this is about the 5th straight game. I'd lean towards doubtful. He was out here on this court yesterday after practice getting, I would say, some light shooting in. Every time I've seen him in this series, it's been very tentative movement. Even, he played Game 4 here and warmed up pregame, and there was no burst to his warm-up. And you even saw it in the game, 23 minutes. David Adelman says he's laboring. I just think it's risky to put him on the floor, number one, for his long-term health, but also number two, if they are to get beyond this series, they don't need a laboring Aaron Gordon against the Spurs. They need Aaron Gordon against the Spurs. So I think it's possible they just sit him and hope they can win the series without him. And I will say quickly on the Minnesota side, Ayo Dosunmu actually popped up as questionable for the Wolves with his own calf issue, and that's something to watch. He had 43 in Game 4 here.
Yeah, Ayo Dosunmu not being able to go for Minnesota, essentially they'd be without their 3 top guards, and that would be a huge blow for them, which brings us to they don't want this thing to go 7. They want to get this thing done. And yes, I know they have gone back to Denver. They've won in Denver a Game 7 last season, but that was with Anthony Edwards and company. That's not the case this time. So what's their mentality going into this game?
Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo was at shoot-around this morning, kind of strolling on a scooter, you'd say. I'm sure that lifted spirits to a degree. They're obviously very shorthanded, but they're at home. And, this team without DiVincenzo and Edwards in the second half of that Game 4 outscored the Nuggets 62-42. This is the type of crowd that really gives them a lift, and I think Jaden McDaniels, more than anybody, might need it. I was in Denver the other night. He was getting what I would call the Draymond Green treatment from the road crowd. I mean, it was that level of boos every time he touched the ball and, in warm-ups, and it's obviously not something he's used to. Mike Conley said he told McDaniels on the bench, hey, like the amount of hate that you're getting tonight, you're going to get 10 times the love in Minnesota come Game 6, and I thought he had his worst game of the series in Game 5, so he needs to bounce back, and I think the crowd will try to lift him to that tonight.
Yeah, this feels as much of a must-win as it can for Minnesota at home in this Game 6. Slater, thank you so very much for that insight, and I think you're absolutely right. Unfortunate injury news. It really has been a huge part of what's defined this series, but there's certainly still star power. There's guys who are stepping up in their role and filling the void. So, Danny, when you're looking at this matchup, what is the key player that you have your eye on?
I'm looking at Rudy. And if Minnesota wants to survive or have a chance of closing this series out, it's going to rely on him. And those have seen in the past, when Jokic plays one-on-one and scores a lot, Denver, in general, as a team, doesn't play well. Yeah. So Rudy's going to have to take on that matchup. Not just him, can't put it all on him, Naz Reid, Julius Randle. But it's got to be a one-on-one situation. Rudy's got to be protective of that rim like he was the other games where he held them to like 60 points in the paint. Last game, 86 points, a 20-point difference is a big jump. So as you see right here, we've gone on this before in the past. Rudy, one-on-one, Jokic at his best, or Minnesota's at their best defense, but not letting guys cut and get layups. So Jokic likes to get that left shoulder. He likes getting in the paint. Rudy knows that. He's just shading him to his left hand as much. He won't go left. Comes back to that right. Fatigue sets in a little bit too. This is fourth quarter. This is crunch time. Usually Jokic gets these baskets. Again, Rudy's got him one-on-one. Forces him off the block a little bit. Makes him catch a little further. Staying his ground. Shading him. Playing that right hand some. Know he wants to get to the middle to that right hand. Trying to get him go left. Jokic doesn't do it. Pump fakes. Spins back. High contest shot. This is where you're at your best and you have your most advantage or chances at staying in the game, because defensively, you guys are decent. They're only good on offense. Denver struggles defensively. You can get whatever you want against their defense, but on offense, like you said, against when Denver's playing offense, you got to hold them to under 120 points if you can. That's the only way they have a chance at getting in this series or winning this series anyway.
Well,
I know you give me that face.
That was cute. That was a great breakdown. Shout out to Rudy. But this is all about the greatness of Jokic right now. Top 10 center of all time, and the stage.
You better show it.
Well, is he ready to dance? Like, when you talk about Jokic and we talk about a guy that's considered top 10, he got to be able to go win these next 2 games.
Yeah.
No Anthony Edwards, no Dante. So you got to go out there and deliver. I understand you're going against a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, but damn it, it's time for you to set. This is a legacy moment. He's coming up on his 100th game of his playoff career. Look at these numbers, Malika. Nobody has done this throughout this span.
That's remarkable.
It's ridiculous, but On the flip side of it, I want you to look at this side of things, like Danny was just talking about. He's been struggling in this series, right? When you look at his points per game, the lowest since 2020. Field goal percentage, 42% from the field. He's struggling in that department. And then three-point percentage, he's shooting 19% from the field.
Yeah.
So you look at, we're talking about Jokic and we're talking about legacy because legacies are made in the postseason. And I'm not taking anything away from him, but we're talking about a guy that's a top 10 center that's trying to continue to add to his legacy. And over the last 3 years, you think about second-round exit, and now on the verge of being a first-round exit, it can't happen, especially without Anthony Edwards being on the field.
Yeah, it's the injuries that have really piled up for the Timberwolves here. And we know that, once again, the Wolves are going to be without Anthony Edwards, right, for Game 6. But that doesn't mean that Minnesota is going to be without hope in this game, because do you see that orange wristband? Ant always wears them. You can see him in the highlights. And Ant wears that actually for a young fan that has defied the odds. Our Shams Charania has more on a really special relationship between Ant and this young man that is so much bigger than basketball.
What's up, Luka?
How many baskets think they'll make?
I don't know, but I'll be wearing a bracelet. Hopefully the bracelet give me some good luck.
All-star guard Anthony Edwards shares a special connection with a T-Wolves superfan. The orange bracelet on his wrist and the number 5 on his jersey are constant reminders of their bond.
I am Luka and I am 7.5. Basketball is just a good sport to me.
When a lot of people think about Luka, they think about his light and see his love of basketball. It's a foundation for our family.
Now can you shoot?
7-year-old Luka Wright inherited his passion for basketball from his dad, Larry.
I had to watch movies, and he's like, oh, what is that movie? Space Jam. He's like, oh, Jordan's the best.
In 2023, the Wright family learned dark days were ahead.
It was the winter solstice. The longest, darkest day of the year. We're sitting in this ER room. We just found out the worst news we could, imagine.
Luka was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, a fast-growing blood and bone marrow cancer. He was 5 years old.
And he drew a picture of him and I. It said, "It is a sunny day." And then it said, "I love you."
It wasn't sunny out, but I still knew it was going to be a good day and it would be fine because my family was with me.
Number 25, Luka!
Luka fought to have a normal childhood, and his first love kept him going.
Every single time I go to basketball, I run back and forth, and then I keep getting stronger every time.
I come home from work, I still got all my work clothes on. Hey, Dad, come on, let's play one-on-one. See him fight and, just be brave was an accomplishment within itself.
Luka wears the same band as Anthony Edwards, with orange symbolizing leukemia awareness. Luka's aunt Emily designed the wristbands to rally hope and prayers for Luka.
It says it is a sunny day, and it says love like Luka.
Love like Luka is something that we live by in this house. Just being there for one another, being happy, being joyful.
In January 2025, Luka got the ultimate hoop dream surprise from content creator MD Motivator.
Would you rather have $1,000 cash or a mystery basketball?
Basketball.
For the mystery, you have to shoot one shot.
Make me Mike.
You gotta shoot the shot?
Luka and his family were gifted tickets to the Timberwolves-Pistons game.
I'm going to the NBA.
He was a celebrity, treating him so good, and he felt so special, and he was so happy.
Who's that?
What's up, my boy?
Okay.
What's up with you? You all right? You got something for me? Okay, cool. What's your name?
Luka.
Luka? Oh, that's dope.
From your side, Luka.
I love that.
And the surprise turned into a promise.
Okay, You know what, Luka? I'll wear this for the rest of my career.
He's a great kid. I wear a wristband every game. It was super dope to meet him, and in that moment to see that I was his favorite player at the time. He was just super happy about just being there.
We're gonna get Luka anything he needs.
I just love that Ant did that.
Every time I meet a new person,